All right. Welcome to another episode of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. It has been almost a year before since I've done one of these episodes, and I want to bring it back because a lot has happened. Last time we talked, life has definitely lifed me to death. So I want to give my guys an update. Um, be it that I'm behind the mic, it gives me a new time. It gives me another chance to find my sanctuary. So here I am. So guys who've been following me, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome to another episode of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. This podcast was designed to let you know that you aren't the only one that took forever to get it together. So the rabbit hole that you have stumbled down will hopefully help you understand that just when you think it's over, it's only the beginning. Just because you were dealt a bad hand doesn't mean you have to keep it. Welcome to the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast.
And welcome back, you guys, to another episode of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. It is your boy, Terry, creator and founder of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. There is a panel edition to this that will be a live video show, bringing back Kevin Peoples and Quinn Stewart and E. Digger um, back together again. That will be again live on Sundays at 1 o'clock, but we have not gotten that far yet. So I just want to relaunch the audio portion of this because there are some things that I needed to say. Because, like I said before, life has definitely lifed the hell out of me over the last couple of months. But we'll get into that in just a second. Before we get into that, though, I do want to give huge shout out to a lot of people in my life, my work family, who has stuck by me uh, over the past couple of months and put up my shenanigans and um, a lot of things have happened, and I thank them. Every last one of them, I would call them out individually, but we'll be here all day. So I don't want to do that. I kind of keep these podcasts short and sweet and in and out. But I will say this: those of you who are tuned into this podcast right now, because you think I'm going to bash my ex, you're in for a rude awakening. I'm not. This is not that. Um, I want to. Don't get me wrong. The petty in me wants to, but it doesn't solve anything. So I'm not going to bash her. Like I say, as much as I want to, I will not. Um, and people may call me crazy. That the people that know the inside may know that I'm crazy. I may think that I'm crazy because I won't bash her or say something to her, but it just doesn't. It just won't solve anything. So I will tell you this: those of you who have been following this podcast for as long as it's been around for a while, in and out. It'll come and go, all that. But those of you that have been following this podcast for any length of time know that I've been married to the same woman for the past decade. We recently split up and divorced, and things just got way hairy, way faster than they should have been. Right? I felt blindsided by the whole situation. That's just me, though. She was perfectly in tune with what she was doing. She had Plan B already set up. She already had me set up, and that's what it was. And here we go, right? But what I want to talk about in this episode, and what I want to do moving forward with this podcast, is that I want to help other people to kind of avoid this pitfall and to catch those red flags before they happen. So, the topic of this episode today is one day at a time, and there's a reason why. It's the reason why that title sticks in my brain because that's my daily. That's my first of all, it's my daily mantra. I live by that. Um, I live by it one day at a time, right? Because what the mistake that I made in my past marriage or my last marriage was that I overthunk everything. Um, Overthunk it. Didn't communicate. Was worrying about stuff that happened down the road. Didn't make sense of it. Uh, in the moment that I was in it, I was just worried about down the road, and it had backfired terribly on me. So that's what happened. So like I said before, those of you that know me know that we are recently split up and divorced, and it's been hard. It was a hard place for me because I felt like I was blindsided. Now, let me clarify when I say blindsided now. I knew that it was going to come to an end at some point or another. Um, just keep it just, and that's just keeping it a buck, right? Just keeping it a whole buck. I knew it was going to happen eventually. I was 14 years her senior. There was things that I didn't want to do in my mature age. Yeah, that's that right. And it was just it was just it was bound to happen. The reason why I say blindsided was because I did not see it coming. Right? I had just came out of uh, some ancestry.com situations when I found out my dad wasn't my dad, and the people they thought it was my dad found out he wasn't my dad either. All of that. So we were just coming out of that situation, and she was there for me in that moment with that. But then it seems like the next day she flipped the switch and was like, "Yeah, I'm going out." And it was and when I tell you, anybody that's listening, anybody tell you that know me personally, and know that what I went through in the situation, that it was a rapid downhill descent. It wasn't even, it's kind of like being on a roller coaster, and you got to the you got to the roller coaster, you get to the top, and then you hit uh, the hill. It's like what the fuck, and then it goes downhill real fast, right? It's like that. That's what it was, and I was like, I cannot believe that this is happening the way that it's happening. And um, I could not comprehend. I could not comprehend the situation in the time that it was happening. Like I said, it was happening. Like anybody that follows me know, I did a Facebook live. It wasn't a Facebook live. I did a video on Facebook where I took accountability and I stood on the mistakes that I made. You know, I can't take any of that back, right? I can't change that. But what I won't do, this is what I've learned in the situation, is that what I won't do is that I will not take the full grunt of the situation because it takes two to ruin a marriage or to make one work. It takes two. Just because I made some bad choices doesn't mean that you didn't contribute to those bad choices. And we're not going to do that, right? So just be clear. I will take accountability for every bad choice that I made in that marriage. But what I will not do is take the full grunt of what happened because it takes two to tango. But even now, um, it took me a while to get to that place. Again, the topic of this episode is one day at a time. It took me a while to get there because when we split and I ended up leaving out of the house, but not by choice, but that's there. I moved in with my roommate, my current roommate, Mr. Doug Rosso. Nice guy. You'll catch him on the podcast every now and then. He's chomping at the bit to get out of here. That's for sure. Uh, but you'll hear him in a bit on here. Nicholas Doug Rosso is one of those people that this dude in this chapter saved my life, y'all. I want y'all to understand that because it was in I was in a bad situation emotionally, and not necessarily physically, but definitely emotionally. And I didn't have anywhere to go, and I didn't know what I was doing because I was going to leave the state and say, "Screw it, I'm out of here." And he was like, "Hey, I got this room. It ain't much." And he took me in, and he gives me a swift kick in the ass every now and then. I get down on myself or whatever. I feel away about something. He'll quickly kick he's put his foot like, come on, bro. You gotta do better than that, and I appreciate him for that. But when this stuff first went down, I first moved in here with Nick, uh, it was hard. Because I want you guys to think about this just for a second. I am 48 years old, y'all, and I've never been on my own, right? Never had the pleasure of being on my own. Don't know if single life is. Don't know what that because ever since I left home at 19 years old, I've always been either somebody's husband or somebody's boyfriend. So I never had a chance. And so with this, came right out the blue. Didn't see it coming. Uh, I don't know how to be single. That makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to be single, and it's hard. It's hard every day. It's hard. Um, but this stuff first happened, I first moved in here with Nick. It was tough. I keep saying that because I want you guys to understand how tough it really was, and it was dark for me. When people commit suicide, and you read the headlines. I was reading the headline on X a little while ago, formerly Twitter, and one of the adult film stars passed away, 36 years old, because of suicide. And you're like, how could anyone think about killing themselves? Why? You know, that's so final. Kill yourself. Go through suicide. Let me tell you something. If you never had an intrusive thought, and if you never felt that way before, don't speak on it. Because when I tell you, that's a tough place. That's a tough place. As people that's listening to this right now, I'm sure that has had an intrusive thought or two over the years, and it's not fun. You don't feel good. It's not fun at all. For me personally, though, my intrusive thoughts came, and they came early and often. You know, kept me awake at night. There was a 2 3 week stretch there where I didn't sleep. So my lack of sleep um, incurred my intrusive thoughts, and it was terrible. So I'll give you guys one quick story, and I'll tell you this. Before I get into my story, this is what I say: having an intrusive thought or having suicidal thoughts, it let me compare it. Put it on a scale for you. My therapist put it on another scale, but I'm gonna put one on the scale for you. It's like being in a closet and the door's closed and it's slammed shut and it's pitch black, but it's pitch black. You can't see anything, but you can feel the walls closing. That's what it feels like. Times two. You know what I'm saying? It's not even close to being halfway cute. You know what I'm saying? I mean, intrusive thoughts and stuff like that is just terrible. It's to replay, right? So for me, I was in that place, dark, didn't know where I was going, didn't know where I was coming and going, mad at people, mad at her, mad at me, I was mad at the world, and there's nobody to blame, really. Uh, can I can I be accountable for my actions? Yes. So there's nobody really to blame. It's what it is. And so I was in that dark place, and I could not make heads or tails. I couldn't think about the next day. I couldn't think about next week. I tried to get past the next 10 minutes at that time. And I'm like, okay. So I had to answer a text. Sorry about that. So I was in that dark place to where I didn't know. Here's my story. This is how serious it is that I woke up on Friday morning and I felt like absolute crap. Like I said, it had been 2 3 weeks I hadn't slept. I wasn't really eating. I don't think if I can remember correctly, I can't even remember that far back. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't eat. I didn't sleep for sure. And I, all right, so I'm back here, and I took a little break there. You guys didn't know that, but I took one. Um, so yeah, in my dark place, trying to figure it out. You know, I will say this: there's a lot of emotions that I went through. Right, one of the emotions that I went through was fear. I was scared out of my wits. You know, 48 years old, no, but never been on my own. Always been somebody's husband or boyfriend. I don't know what single life is about. So fear was the biggest thing, right? Uh, Also, transparent moment here. Uh, Panic and anxiety because I knew that she has moved on. She had moved on like fairly quickly. It must have been someone else already, she already had one in the chamber before she decided to divorce me, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? But um, it was anxiety. There was a time me and Nick went out to eat. Uh, and we went to Texas Roadhouse here in Jefferson City. Well, we don't live in Fulton, but Jeff City down the road, the capital. So we went to Jeff City, got something to eat, and Nick had to almost pull me. I had a full blown panic attack. You know why? Again, it comes back. It goes to being fearful because I did not want to see her with this other fellow. You know what I'm saying? So my panic and my anxiety got really, really, really high, and it's still to this day. Transparent moment here. Transparent to this day. Still, um, still fear that fear is still there. Like I don't know what I'm going to do. Right? If I were to see that, I don't know what I would do. But it's bound to happen. It's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Our son's birthday is next month. She's going to throw a birthday party, I'm sure, and she's going to have her friend there. I mean, I don't know. That's not like my buddy Stutzman at DOC said to me, and I'll never forget it. He said, "You know what's here?" They know a little. My last name. That's my we in DOC go by last names. And he said, he said, little, not my monkey, not my circus. That's what has been my mantra ever since. Not my monkey, not my circus. I know that's what it will be in this case. Not my circus, not my monkey. Not my monkey, not my circus. But it's still tough. So, but again, if you guys can hear me, I'm thinking about shit. I'm thinking about stuff that's going to happen down the road, right? Um, but it freaks me all the way out sometimes. And so, what I had to learn in this season of losing, I had to learn how to take one day at a time. I had to stop, take a breath, and realize that it's only one day at a time that's going to make me make it. What I can't do is overthink. What I can't do is overthink. What I can't do is put 100 on 10. I can't put more on it. It's what it is. It's one day at a time. It's right here in my face. It's a struggle. I'm not even going to sit here in front with you. It's an absolute struggle. I tell you what, I'm a better man sitting here for it. It's tough. It makes my booty itch. I tell you, it's. I'm nervous. I'm fearful. I'm scared. But I tell you what, I have a good clan of folk behind me. They want to see me succeed and be happy. You know, me and Nick going to our first baseball game next month. Uh, well, his first baseball game. I've been to plenty of Royals games. You guys know me. It'll be his first baseball game. So it's just doing things that make me happy. Doing this behind this mic makes me happy. Talking to the people makes me happy. And so that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. But listen, uh, going back, if you guys are suffering, if anybody's listening to this podcast and you're suffering from mental health issues, please, please, I implore you to seek out help. Find you a therapist, and go for what you know. That first session they give you, he or she give you the opportunity to diarrhea. Just do it. Just start spouting and and don't stop talking until they tell you to. And get it off your chest because there are so many of us that are walking around with here with unaddressed trauma, and we can't figure out why we can't get from point A to point B. Right? If you have an opportunity to talk to a therapist, please go ahead and do that. Talk to a therapist and get to where you need to be. Let's get healthy. This journey right here that I'm on is the journey of health and happiness and new beginnings. Okay? But let's take that journey one day at a time. Until next time, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, man. And I'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you for listening. I hope I didn't fry your brain too bad. Come back through and give me another chance. You can listen on all platforms and visit us at knuckleheadchroniclespodcast.podbean.com. Until next time, in the words of the incomparable Jerry Springer, take care of yourself and each other.